Now, Storm Tracker 9 weather with Chief Meteorologist Justin Stapleton.
All right, one of the things with the heat that we saw the last couple of days, pollen tracker has been on the rise the last few, even though we've had a little bit of a cooler injection of air. Still, we are looking at our grass pollen, holding it around 74, which isn't bad. It's better than the 200 that we were looking at a couple of days ago, but still. Tree pollen sitting just at about 19 as well, both of those. Did you know, this sort of 4th of July is the weekend when things finally start to quiet down in terms of the pollen. Now, one big weather story, not here for the West Coast, but on the East Coast. And if you're traveling to the East Coast, this is going to be a major player. Tropical Storm Arthur, still a tropical storm. Winds sustained at 70 miles an hour, 74-mile-an-hour winds is the cutoff for Hurricane 1 status, which will likely achieve sometime later on tonight. Moving north at about 8 miles an hour, and all of this shading that you see here across the Carolinas, those are all tropical storm warnings. So it is going to be not only just heavy wind and rainmaker, but could see some pretty good flooding as well out across some of the Outer Banks, which are basically cool little barrier islands off of the North Carolina coastline. Meanwhile, this is what we've been watching here at the Weather Center, just a huge light show across Central Oregon today. Lots of the jet stream enhanced, sort of lifting all of this moisture into a pretty hot, unstable air mass. Lots of lightning strikes with these as well, as you can tell on our lightning tracker here on the Storm Tracker 9 live radar sweep. West of the mountains, it's been pretty quiet, and that's the good news. You can see those if you look off to the east. Still some pretty good cumulus towers building with that. In addition, we've also been looking at a little bit of a marine layer trying to start to move back across portions of the central coast. Highs today, it was still warm out there in many spots. 94 down in Medford, not triple digits today, but you get the idea. 81 in Portland, 84 here in Eugene, 86 in Roseburg, and mid to upper 60s out to the coast. Right now, still pretty comfortable out. We're checking in at 81 in Eugene, mid to upper 70s as you get up and down the I-5, low 80s in Roseburg, and still a little warmer. They were actually a little cooler a few hours ago in Bend when the storms came through. Should be starting to cool off again later on tonight. Meanwhile, we'll also see the morning clouds start to fill in for early tomorrow morning. They should hold on, I think, probably through most of the morning hours into the early afternoon. We'll start to finally get back to mostly sunny skies. Overnight tonight, temperatures will likely sit in the mid to low 50s. We'll be looking at that morning cloud cover. There's that low pressure that continues to send little disturbances, little waves at us, and with the jet stream still sort of pointed to the south and then eventually going north through the state, will keep things at least a little cooler for the next couple of days. But as you see the jet stream forecast as we go in through the next 4 days after that, we start to see that warm air seeping back into the northwest. And so while it'll be nice and refreshing for the holiday weekend, by next week, I expect the hot stuff to be back. So morning clouds, sunny by the afternoon out along the coast in the mid 60s. We'll be into the low 80s for the Umpqua. We'll likely see that morning fog hang on in through, I'd say, most of the morning and maybe even early afternoon. Cascades quiet down, just get back to sunny skies for tomorrow afternoon. Central Oregon as well in the mid 80s. Red flag warning is still through 8 o'clock tonight. It may extend it through tomorrow in around the upper 70s for us here in the Willamette Valley coast. 4th of July forecast looks good. Be a little cloudy at first, maybe some light drizzle, and then it's starting to heat up into early next week. The Umpqua, same thing, low to mid 80s, and then 90s on the board from Sunday all the way through next Wednesday. The Cascades, I don't think we'll see much of a thunderstorm threat, but it will be very pleasant over the next 4 to 5 days for camping. And here in the Willamette Valley, a good forecast tomorrow night. As we mentioned, the rodeo starting, and I think we're going to be looking not too hot and not too cold. I know that's the rodeo folks. They don't want it too hot because then it keeps people away, but you need it dry too. Makes it a little easier for the horsies.
And hopefully we won't have the dust that we've had in the years past because of the conditions in the rain we had a few days ago too.
Might
so
help,
that'll help. It's going to be nice out there.
Oh,
Should
so
be
nice.
beautiful, yeah.
Love it. Thanks.
You bet.
Making